welcome to Let's Talk Health and Wellness with Lenitra. Today, I have two very special people here with me today in the studio. We have Sims and Griggs Production. That's what I always say. But I'll let them also go ahead and tell you. But I'm so happy you guys are here. Thank you so much for coming today. It means a lot. I know you always supporting me, and I appreciate you so much. So thank you today for being here in the studio with me today. We're going to have some conversation today, so let's dive in because I know we got a lot of catching up to do.
Right.
Y'all been doing a lot of amazing things, so we got a lot of catching up.
Too.
Oh, thank you.
You modeling.
Thank you. But we got to catch up because I seen you graduated. I've seen NAACP. It's been a book.
Yeah.
It's
been a
and
lot.
not to even mention, of course, film. Okay, because y'all do the thing. From producing to writing, producing, singing. Over here singing. I seen that, and I was somewhere, and I said, "Oh man, because if I was there, I would definitely have been there." So yeah, I'm following, I'm tracking, I'm seeing everything you guys are doing.
Appreciate you.
But let's dive in. Let's talk about where should we start? Because we have some movies out there, and let's start with the films first because they produce also. Okay, so let's talk about first. Go back to your movies.
Yeah. First thing we want to say is thank you. You've been in two of our projects, and you're in one of our upcoming projects, and we just want to thank you so much. You're very dedicated, very talented, and we appreciate you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Right. It is.
Thank you. I always say you gotta love what you do.
That's true.
And I love what I do, and I'm always thankful and grateful for each and every opportunity that I'm given, and I don't take it lightly.
Absolutely.
So I'm thank you. But today, I want to look. Let's talk about this. This is your day.
All right.
Okay, so let's dive in.
Well, dive in. Can we switch a little bit?
Of course.
Let's dive in on somebody else that's graduating next Friday from Full Sail University. Yeah, he graduated from Full Sail.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow! Congratulations.
So wanted to. Of course, we write, we produce.
Mm-hmm.
So we just wanted to go ahead and just be a full household name. So I took the initiative to enroll into film school, and now I'm graduating.
Wow.
Friday. So I've made it to the finish line, and it has not been easy.
Okay.
Because I would tell anybody, compared like school when you a kid in school is hard enough then, but to do it as an adult,
Oh yeah.
it's rough. So and I had those little moments where it was, I didn't know if I can go ahead and make it through. B, of course, he helped me out in being super supportive in every way possible.
Wow.
And so but I've made it. So
Awesome.
we can add that we actually film these projects now to our list.
Wow. Yes, because you put in the work, and to see that, and then you went and you took it an extra step further, and you went on and went to school and did your thing. We got some, amazing producers, writers, like I said, author, so y'all doing it all, and I just want to congratulate you both again. When I seen that, and I said, wait a minute, because I'm a big Tyrese fan. So, I seen the video when I look, and I said, wait a minute, hold up. I seen him, and then I look, and I said, he almost looked like, and I looked again, and I seen you in the video, and y'all were all, graduating and stuff. So tell me about that.
That was an amazing day. I got my honorary doctorate with Tyrese, Ricky Smiley, Claudia Jordan, Breely Evans, Raheem Devon, Steve Harvey daughter, yeah. And I guess the weird thing about it is that I know they say sometime you could be in the how's that saying go? Like, okay, for graduation, I wasn't supposed to be on the front row at all. I'm not no big time celebrity, but when they lined everybody up, I was on the front row. Sometimes God will put you in places where you thought you don't supposed to be.
That's right.
So that was an exciting adventure, and so it was exciting. Yeah.
Wow, to sit. And so I already know the networking, y'all
Yep.
network and stuff,
Yep.
and you shared information. So
Right.
now, that's good because
Right.
you also made an amazing connection.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
Wow, look at that. Oh my goodness. And then you went, I seen an author.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got a
I
book.
got a book. I'm gonna do a book signing within the next 2 to 3 months here.
Okay.
It's called The Descendants of Emma Booker. It's based upon my family life, but it's from story my grandmother told me when she was young. Always, it started out her story when she was a kid and stuff like that, with my mom and them growing up, and up until me and stuff like that. So yeah,
Wow.
go through the whole phases. Like back in when my grandmother was younger, racism was really really bad. It's still bad now, but back in those days it was really really bad. But yeah, so it just talks about all that stuff right there. Yep.
Wow.
Different stages of life from her perspective, her kids to her grandkids. So
Wow. Well, I'm looking forward to that. You make sure you keep me posted.
Absolutely.
I'll be
I sure
following
will.
because I would love to be there for your book signing.
Thank you so much.
Wow. So the movies, wow, which was, I always go Trapped in Lust, Transme Reloaded.
Yeah, you the weather woman.
That
You
was, I
reporting
was
on
the news reporter.
Right.
Oh my goodness, that was so fun. It was so fun. And it's funny when I go back and I look and I'm like, wow, to see it all put together.
Right.
That right there. And then, we did the whole premiere.
Right.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
which is,
Tried to do it Hollywood style.
And you did it Hollywood style. That was amazing. I was like, oh, I really was feeling special. I like all the news reporters sitting there. I done made a reel and everything. Spotlight. That was so fun. I mean, that was, yeah. So, to see that, and I see how hard you work. And I also seen y'all were at, I think, the event for the NAACP. Was that?
Yeah, I'm on the voting committee, like for literature. Like every year they send me like 1,000 books, and I go through them. I don't read all of them, but I go through the back, the back to, and I make sure that I give everybody a good, vote to make sure that they book get nominated and stuff like that.
Wow, that is amazing to be a part.
Yeah.
So that says a lot because then you're able to connect,
Right.
Absolutely. Not just from as an author, but it's deeper than that because now you're looking at the full picture.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay. Look at, y'all just, and and I had the pleasure of meeting them through actually Tanya. Shout out to Tanya.
Lady T.
Lady T. Because I remember when she told me about the project. This is like before Transme Reloaded, and I'm like, me? She was like, yeah, you want to try? I'm like, okay. She's like, send me all your information. And I remember me being at Dollface house actually. And she was like, you got to send me all your information. And I was like, okay, I don't know, So I had somebody out there recording me.
Was that your first role?
Yes.
Oh,
it was my first role.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, you did wow.
Thank you.
You never thought that.
It was my first. So I'm outside and I'm like, I don't know. Give me, I'm just, just like I'm in the mirror, just being, being me. And even till this day, do you know, they still tease me when something happens. Get Tangi Miller. They say, get Tangi Miller. It's what Dollface would say, get Tangi Miller. And I'd be like, hi, Tangi Miller. So, they still tease me about that. And be like, yeah, that's the news reporter. They still call me the news reporter. So, that was so fun. I mean, I did. That was so fun to be able to do that. And to be a part.
Did amazing.
And to see how everything came together. And then it was like, it's a lot of work.
It is. It's a lot of work, a lot of stressful times, and but I would say, like, overall, once you are able to see the final project all put together, it makes all of those different stressful moments, those long nights, struggling trying to get stuff together, this and the third, it makes it all worth it at the end. So.
And then the fact, and you played in the movie, so
see, that was not supposed to be. That was not supposed to be at all. But see, we started out doing stage plays, and so from the stage plays, we started doing films, and so we wanted to take on and start our own production company just because we wanted to give others opportunities as well as ourselves. Because sometimes you go out and audition for these different roles, and and you just don't get the part. And so, you sometimes that can get discouraging, but you
Right.
don't, you have to keep going. So with every knockdown, it's good to get those like no's because it makes you stronger.
Right.
So we
I
wanted
agree.
to start our own to okay, y'all don't give us these roles, that's fine. We're gonna make them and do them
Right, that's
ourselves,
true.
and
That's
help
right.
others who want
That's
to
true.
be actresses and know actresses as well. So we'll bring you on too. So, but yeah, but I would say with all those long hours, it makes it worth it just to see your. I call them our babies. It's just what it is. You sit there and you make them and you birth them and you just watch them all you just flourish. So just to see those moments on the big screen, it's
Wow.
very humbling. It makes you grateful, because
Yeah.
you're able to show the real your gift.
Right.
Yes.
So it's,
That's amazing. And even the day we were taping, I remember it's for Trapped in Lust. Oh my goodness, was it the caterer? I mean, everything was set.
Aunt Cynthia.
That was your aunt.
Yeah.
Oh my
Cynthia.
goodness.
She gonna watch this. Cynthia Ware. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. She had everything so beautiful. The spread. I mean, I was like, oh my goodness. Everything was sitting so pretty. She had everything. I mean, y'all did amazing. I mean, the treatment that you gave all of us while we were there filming, it was just amazing. I mean, like you said, I felt like I was in Hollywood. Like I was like, oh wow. I walked in and I seen it. I'm like, wow. I mean, she had it looking so amazing. Everything tastes amazing. Presentation, everything was amazing. Wow. What's your aunt name?
Cynthia Ware.
Okay, Miss Cynthia. Shout out to you. Yeah, so that's good that you have that support, because it's so important to have your family to support with everything that you do. Because a lot of times people don't have it.
That's true.
Right. And no matter what it is you're trying to do, how hard you're trying to work, what it is you're trying to birth,
Right.
you just don't have it.
Right.
And it makes a difference to have good people in your corner.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because everything we know is not always going to be a good day.
Right.
We have those days, those moments. So to have somebody you can say, look, and they don't judge you.
Right.
So what I'm saying now. It don't have anything to do with me not liking or loving, but you just having a moment because
Right.
you need to
Right.
be able to vent
Right.
and have somebody that you can talk to
Absolutely.
without them passing judgment.
Absolutely.
Because people do that. Everything is they take it another way, but this is not what I really meant. I'm human.
Right.
And it's okay for us to have a moment. So with all that being said, with everything that you've done, with everything that you do, how do you juggle it with your mental? Like, how are you able to maintain just to keep your sanity?
It'd be rough. I think a major thing we run into with film wise is when you get the casting right, they cast somebody, and then if that person can't show up the day of or the day before, that's kind of happened.
that's how I end up being
with that role. Wow.
Like if you go back to when we started doing the stage plays, shout out to my pastor Reverend Leon Williams and Priscilla Williams. They gave us our first platform when we first started doing stage plays. We at the time we was like, we ain't got no stage. What are we gonna do? They took the pulpit apart and turned it into a stage.
Wow.
Yeah, they had that much faith in what we was doing and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the most stressful thing is like when we just have come through so much. How can I put it? So much. Like when it's like you get slapped in the face when like the day before, the day of, and you just have to step in and do what you got to do. So
Right.
that's really
To make it happen.
Yeah,
Like,
they give us strength. Yeah, they really
right.
give us strength along.
So, like, at the end of the day, no matter what, look,
Right.
because I always say failing is not an option.
Mm-hmm.
Failing is not an option. I say that all the time, even when I'm going through whatever it is. Okay, look, okay, pull it together. And then sometimes I say, okay, man, who daughter are you? Because I know how my mother was. My mother was a strong person. She got the job done no matter what it was. My father was as well. So it's like, wait a minute, okay, you got to remind yourself sometime, okay, this is who I am.
Right.
I can get through anything. And I always go back to after losing my father when I went skydiving. Keep in mind, I'm afraid of heights. What was I thinking? I did it here in Atlanta, actually. And I went... and I remember even they did a whole video. And I remember walking as I'm going to, I did the class, they done strapped me, got me and everything. And I'm walking to the plane and I'm like, okay, I'm waving to everybody. Now, before I even did all that, I was trying to call my children. I'm trying to call, like, God forbid anything happened to me. And I did a live and I'm like, I'm here. And everybody was like, you where? Like, I'm about to go skydiving. And I remember even then going to the plane, getting on the plane, and the plane go up, and I'm on the plane with all experience. These guys, this is what they do. And we get all the way up, and they open the door of the plane. I'm on one side, and I'm watching everybody shoot, shoot. They scoot up. They just going out the plane, going. I'm saying, where was I? My heart is beating so fast. And even after that, we get to my side, and he turned around and he says to me, you ready? I'm like, my heart, he said, just remember, don't look down. You're going to go to the door of the plane. You're going to hold on. Do not look down. And you're just going to rock. On the third rock, just go. I'm like, okay. And I'm saying to myself, okay, you can't change your mind. Like, you can't. Like, I have to go forward with it. So I get to the door of the plane. I didn't look down. And out the wind, I'm just in the door of this plane, and I'm holding on and I'm looking up at the clouds. And for me, I tell you about it's so different because it was for me, spiritually, mentally, everything was just all together. I was thinking about my mom, thinking about my dad who had just passed, and that's when I just went out. And I always tell everybody I felt like an Avenger. Like I was just like hanging in the sky, just like letting just everything go. So for me, going through that moment, I tell myself like I can conquer anything, no matter what it is, how hard it seemed, whatever I'm going through. Keep in mind, fail is not an option, and you went through that. Like you jumped out a whole plane. Like you can do anything. And so I get what you're saying, having that, but just always keeping in mind, no matter what, you can make it,
right?
And we have our moments and we have our times, but,
that's
and, so that's important that you have that support. You have your church family, right? You have people that you can talk to, whenever you feel that, you having that moment. Right.
Because we have those moments on set. So it mentally, just going through that whole process, it is draining.
Right.
Those countless long hours, and you get frustrated, and it really messes with your mental because everyone has the same ultimate goal is to get this done.
Right.
So with that, it can just mess with your mental, but I believe when it comes to it, the way that we handle it is we just have to keep that mindset of, okay, why are we trying to do this? Or what is the reason, the purpose? Why did we get into this? So, so me and him, we have those moments.
Oh, I have them all the time. Oh yeah.
Oh, we have.
Hell yeah, I have them all the time.
So, we
I
can
do.
we can clash, but
Yeah.
we come back together because we at the end of the day we know why we started doing this. So,
That's right. You know your why.
Yeah.
That's
so
right.
it mentally, yes, it can be draining. But just like I said, once you birth your baby
That's
and
right.
you see it, it makes all of that worth it.
And we balance each other out. Like as far as that, yeah. My thing is, which I'm learning to deal with it now. Like if you hire somebody to do something, you kind of expect that, but it don't always turn out like that.
Right.
You be like, oh man, here we go, and it's that just really just,
Yeah, you're like, okay, this is not what I
Right,
planned
right,
for.
right,
you
right,
know.
right,
And
right.
then because then you always have those that say, okay, they try to do everything by themselves, and sometimes that could be
Right.
a headache. Because even for me, I mean, like I can do many things, but even for me, I'm learning, Even though, you like doing these things, but when it comes to certain things, we have to sometimes, okay, look, let me just go ahead and let somebody else specialize in that to take that load.
Right.
Because then you're not overwhelmed with the project. And even with that, I see people that do that and still like, okay, just let them do what they do. And you focus on what you're doing, stay from on this side, you stay over there and just because you have to do that, because it's easy to say, okay, you got your hands and everything, but then you're trying to like, okay, because I know how to do that too, so this is how I want to this and then you become overwhelmed. Right.
And it's
true.
easily to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like it, but we balance each other out in those aspects, and like I said, we have those little moments, but at the end of the day, we know what the ultimate goal is.
Right.
So yeah, so it makes it all worth it. So it's mentally draining, but
it's worth it, because then you sit back and you look at the final final product, right?
Right.
And you say, wow, look at our work.
Right.
It all came together.
Right.
And then you would never even know like the things that may have happened or quite sure behind the scenes when you look at it, right?
That's true. That is true.
The sweat, you be like, wait a minute. Hey,
Yeah, that's true.
But it's good to see it come to light. So I love it. I love it. I love everything that you do.
Thank you.
I always say, I'm like, in my inbox, even
Right.
birthday, anything like, and it feels good to know that you have people that really support you, genuinely support you, and that, even if I'm not there physically, just know that you got my support. If I can do something, I'm there,
Absolutely.
And so it's good to have that and to know, it really is. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So I have, wait a minute, let me get a little question. I have something. Hold on. So we talked, okay, so about the emotional toll of shifting roles from producer, director, actor, and author. So how are you able to shift? Like, is it easy to go from one to the other, or are you always like in that mode?
Pretty much. I'll be honest with you. I love writing more than anything. I love writing and I love acting, but that's more than anything. Like I got signed to an agent last year. So
Congratulations!
Thank you. So, but that right there, writing is what I really love to do. I love to write. Producing, love to do that. Now the on-set director stuff, that's more his thing, and he does it all too. But yeah, but yeah. So
you like that, okay?
Yeah.
And is that writing? Is that therapeutic for you?
It is.
It is.
It takes my mind away from so much stuff. It takes my mind away from stress, from everyday work life. When I'm writing, it's like I'm in a whole different place. And writing in the entertainment industry, that's what I've always wanted to. Well, I always wanted to be in the entertainment industry as an actor. But then later on in life, I realized I could write. I'm like, oh, okay. So, but it's something that I want to do. Something I love to do, and I've always told myself, if something you want to do, if you do it for free, that's really in your heart of what you want to do. So I would act and write and do it for free if I had to.
Wow.
Because I really want to.
Wow. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about you?
I would say it's with those roles. I go in with a plan, and I just try to execute it, and this is how I operate. So just for me to swap those different roles, to me, all of them play hand in hand in a way. So it's difficult for me to change the hats. So I just use it and make it all work together as a whole. So it's not hard for me to really adjust to it. Now singing, that's my passion there.
That's your passion.
Now I always wanted to act and sing. So those were the two ultimate goals, and what I always envisioned for myself is to sing and to act.
Okay.
So to be able to find a new role and a new passion for like directing and producing. I really don't have to direct, but I will do it. But because I think that when we come with the plan, we ultimately execute it together. So it works well. But yeah, if the singing and the acting, yeah, that was my two
That's your
go-to.
two. Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
but to change those roles, I don't. It's not really complicated
Yeah.
for me too much. I just
Because you're an actor, I guess. As an
yeah.
actor,
So
you can kind of.
yeah, so
It's
it's
easy to shift.
yeah,
Is
it's
that
not
what
hard
it
to
is?
juggle.
True.
So you just okay. This is what I'm finna do. Go do it. So that's how I
Okay.
just do it.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, what about? Well, you just answered that. Setting boundaries while staying inspired. How do you feel about that? Like, how do you need to, like, do you, when you in your zone, right? Do you like set boundaries, like healthy boundaries, so that you can stay like focused?
I'll be honest with you. I don't set no
You don't
boundaries.
set. You just go. You just go with the
I just go
flow.
with the flow.
Okay.
I'm just being
Okay.
honest
Just
with
go
you.
with the flow. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Cause that's okay. Pretty much. That's what I do too. I just go. Some people I have they set certain, but I'm a go with the flow. How about you? You'll go with the flow as well.
I'm go with the flow, but I have to have a plan.
Okay. That too.
So
Yeah.
if I can't have my vision and my plan in my mind or written down, it ain't gonna work too
It's
well.
not gonna work.
So I have to have it where I have to write the vision. I have to make it plain. So I
Okay.
have to see it in order for me to. So I have to go in. I have to have a goal and a plan in order for me to really execute something. Now I can be go with the flow, but it works better for me if I have a plan.
Right. Okay. That makes sense because we have something that we say in the laboratory. If it's not written down, it doesn't exist. And that's meaning, if anything, whether it's chain of custody or any, if it's not in writing. And so I say that a lot. So that makes sense when you said about a plan because I do. If it's not in writing, it doesn't exist. Right. And that goes to stay with my calendar. Right. If I don't lock stuff in, right? If I don't put it down, it's not. Doesn't mean that it's not there, but I like to. I have a plan. I like to know. I like to know what's going on and try to stay abreast of things.
Because I'm a visual type person.
Right.
I have to see it.
Got to see it. Yeah. Because if you don't see it, you like right.
Take a little to get there. I got to see it.
Okay. That makes sense. I said okay. All right. So. We talked about that your the emotional toll of shifting roles, the multitasking, right? How do you view like even in the public eye? So when you do your roles, right, and you're filming, how do you? Because I know on social media you're on. I see you do your videos and stuff. Do you do a lot of that? More so during that time, like whatever you're going through then, do you like do a lot of that in the process or you just kind of do it afterwards?
For me, it's afterwards.
Afterwards, right?
Me, I kind of, if you don't really know me personally, I don't, some people put their whole life on Facebook,
Right.
social media. I don't do that. You know? When you look at my page, you see it pertains to acting.
Right,
it
yes.
pertains to that. If you don't know me, you don't know where I stay, where I drive, where
That's
I work.
right.
You know,
Right. Okay.
And I just like to keep it like
that way, right?
Yeah.
And that's important. I think so too. Because like you said, some people do put like or social media is their life,
right?
Because I had to tell people sometime that if I try to post, I schedule posts. So if you see something pop up, that doesn't mean I'm actually on social media at that moment. I didn't schedule that probably 2 days ago to post.
Right.
Right. But it is. It is a thing. And so I try not to. As much. And then I'm at work. You can't. Because I always say it's just like the newspaper.
That's true.
And you miss a day, you miss a few hours, you didn't miss a lot.
That is true.
Right? You didn't miss a lot. And then it's like even going back, you don't even see people reading newspapers anymore.
Right.
Facebook is the newspaper.
That's true. That is
right?
True.
They get on there and they,
Everything you need is right.
Everything is there, right? Everything is right there. So it is. It's like the newspaper to me as well. So I'm just excited to your upcoming projects that you have coming up with all.
You want to tell about it?
Well, I guess we'll give you the.
A little snippet. We don't. I don't want you to give it away, but yeah, just a little bit.
What we've learned in this journey here is that we don't speak on nothing until it's.
Yeah, that is true.
We had that to happen not too long ago, right?
Right.
But we do have. We will give you this. It's a series that we are working on.
Okay.
It consists of a nice, wealthy black family.
With a twist.
Yes.
Oh, really?
With a twist that you would not expect it on.
Oh, wow. I'm excited.
Yes.
Look, I got all quiet. I'm like, ooh, I'm excited. Okay.
We're working on that, and we're just trying to continue just to keep pushing and grinding and, just challenging ourselves to get to where we want to go in life. So, yeah.
Okay.
But this new project here is nothing like we've ever done before. It's totally different. So this will be our. It's not gonna be our first series.
First TV type series.
Yes,
the other thing was like web series.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's totally different. So,
Well, I'm excited. I can't wait to hear more about it and to find out what my role gonna be.
Right.
I'm looking forward to that. Oh, I know what I seen something the other day. I seen a picture. And y'all were with some people from my favorite show, one of my favorite shows that come on.
Beauty in Black.
Beauty in Black. Yes.
Yeah, we went out and we hung out with Julian Horton. Really, really nice guy. Really down to earth. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
he was like, I'm not like my character.
That's what he said. Oh, yeah, because his character is something. But I love watching. Yeah.
Phenomenal show.
It is very. Wow. So he was a pretty decent guy. He wasn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
Very humble. I believed, and we both agree with that. Like, if you. Once you make it there, still be yourself, still be humble.
Right.
Don't, make people feel less than just because you're this here,
Right.
everybody's still human. So
That's right.
exactly how he made everyone feel. Just like this your cousin.
Yeah, you wouldn't even thought he was,
that's your family. Like,
right.
Really
Wow.
Cool. So that's a major thing to be able to meet people and they still be humble like that.
That's right. Still, and that both of y'all actually. That's how I see both. But you both are the same. I've seen you in rooms. I've seen, like I said, pictures and videos with some amazing people, and so you've been in some rooms as well. But you're always the same.
Absolutely. Still gonna be like that.
Still the same. You're always.
Change.
You don't
Never.
change. I love it.
Right.
I love it. And you never make anybody feel, like you said, less than or different because of your status. Right. And a lot of things people wouldn't even know.
Right.
Half the stuff that that you've done, who you work with, who you know, what you do. Right? They would never know because you're just so humble.
Appreciate it.
You're so humble.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, I appreciate you both
We
for being
appreciate
here.
you, and we see you be working.
Oh,
You be
yeah.
working. You do.
I love it. I do. I definitely, I love what I do. I love the network, and I love my show here because I'm able to sit down.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And shout out to Evan Vision as well. LA, got to give him a big shout out for this opportunity. He is an amazing guy as well. I mean, just giving me the opportunity, I'm so thankful and appreciative, for everything, every opportunity you both gave me as well, with being able to act. Because I've done a few plays. I remember The Prodigal Son a long time ago with church. I did that play. So to be able to have my first role, and so thankful and grateful to you both for that.
We never knew it was your first. We watched your audition tape. We never thought it was your first.
You know how many times I shot that audition tape? Okay, I stood in the mirror like, so many times, like rehearsing, and I'm like, okay, and and it's funny because they always tell me my voice, And so I'm like, okay, so that news reporter
Right,
side,
right.
it's like, Tangy Miller. So that was so fun, but I'm so thankful and grateful to you both. Again, Lady T, Tanya, for introducing me to you both, because I wouldn't had not been for her, I would never had the opportunity to meet you
Right, like
and to be on set, your movies and stuff. And so then we did Trapped by Lust. I met some more people, in Trapped in Lust. That was amazing. And I still stay in contact. So it's like a big family.
right, absolutely,
It's like a big family. Once you in, you in.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
So, but you got to do right.
Right.
When you in, you have to do right.
That's right.
Can't do people wrong.
Right. That's
Right.
right.
Once
That's
you in,
right.
you got to do right and do right by people,
That's
and it
right.
always come back in
Absolutely.
full circle. And I think you just have to just continue to keep passing it.
Right.
Pay it forward.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody do right and give you opportunity. When you get that opportunity, you give somebody else an opportunity. So, I believe that's right. So I believe in that. But my show, I love it. So I can sit down and have these conversations, because people always see the good stuff, the good side. They never know what's actually going on behind the scenes and what we go through
Right.
to get where we are,
Right. That's true.
or the struggle, the mental. They don't see any of that. They just know, wow, I just seen, so and so in this movie, or they're acting, or they producing, they're writing, you're doing all these things, but they don't know what it takes
Right.
to get there, And I always say, look, a lot of them want to walk in these hills, but you don't know what it takes to walk in these hills. You don't know what I've been through, And same thing for me. I switch roles, because I go from, I do my modeling, I have my show here. Let's talk health and wellness. I'm a healthcare professional. I work in a laboratory. I'm behind that microscope, and I'm just, getting results and doing all the things to help these doctors make the right decision with diagnosis. Okay. And so, to be able to do that, to switch, and, but I'm still me at the end of the end of the day. It's still me.
Absolutely.
And so in this show, actually was a little different. It was special, but it was a little different today because, I just lost my sister.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I just lost her. So, and so, I'm be heading home for those, the arrangements and so forth. But, we have Mother's Day coming up.
Right.
Yeah, Mother's Day coming up. I know that is a big thing for a lot of people who don't have their moms.
Right.
And so, I just attended the Missing Our Moms brunch with Kiki. She does this every year for those that don't have their mothers. Again, our mental is so important.
It is.
And who you surround yourself and you sit with, and those people that pour into you are so important.
That is true.
Because when you having those moments that are not so great, I need that friend, that sister, that brother to say, look, it's okay to not be okay.
Right.
It's okay to not feel okay right now.
Right.
But I'm here. I'm a listening ear, and I'm here for you.
That is
So that's so important. So anything you would like to add before we close?
Not from my perspective. I just want to say congratulations to you once
Thank
again.
you.
And I really appreciate you for having us here.
Thank you.
What you're doing is awesome, because talking about mental is very important, and because we all face different mental challenges every day,
Right.
every single day. And so just to always know that, that you can find someone that you can talk to, and to know that it's okay to not be okay.
That's right.
Because sometimes and I'm guilty of this, that we always think, okay, we got to be so strong, or we got to not express how we feel and just shield and keep it in. But it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to express how you're feeling,
Right.
and, to let it be known. So what you're doing here is awesome.
Thank you so
Proud of
much.
you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Because a lot of us used to not talk about our mental health and
That's
stuff
right.
like that. So yes, big shout out to you. Great thing you got going on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I like to just leave it open and share the platform, for those that want to talk, and tell their story. And I've been having a lot of people actually reach out, about wanting to come on and just on the show and talk about the things that's not so glamorous, that look so good, because so many people are going through, and of course this month is mental health, awareness month. So that too, it's a big deal. It's a big deal to see that. And I think it's a great thing that now we can actually talk about it. Right. And say it's okay. Oh, mental health. Because, that's something we never talked about.
Right. That's true.
At all.
That is
right.
True. That is true.
We never talked about it. I know I've heard people say they couldn't even talk about it in their house. You
can't go outside to talk about it either.
Yeah.
Right. Well, stay
in the house, right. That I heard, yes. Right. Because then, you only person you had to look at, whether you have a sibling. If you don't have a sibling, I feel, but you out of it, because I grew up with that too. What happens here stays here. You don't take business outside the house. But we all know where that has gotten us at this stage in our life, where our younger self is different. But looking now at our older self, we know that's not healthy.
That's true.
Yeah. It's okay to get therapy.
Right.
It's okay to talk to somebody, because if you're not healthy for yourself, you're no good to nobody else, right? So we definitely have to make sure we take care of ourselves.
And my younger self, I used to always wonder, you hear some celebrity commit suicide. You be like, why would they do that? Had everything. I get it now.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Exactly, I do too. Yeah. I used to say the same, but you got all the money, you have all these things. Why?
Right.
But when you are put in a position, I think, and you're sitting, they put you here, and things happen because you're human. And you got all that weight, and you don't have an outlet, you don't have anybody to talk to.
Right.
Some people give up.
Right, that's true.
They give up. And at this day and time, you're seeing it happen so much. It's not just men. You have men, women, you have mothers.
That's true.
That are giving up.
Even kids.
Children, are giving up because they feel like they have no outlet. They have nobody to talk to. So, we have to keep pushing, to help and put that out. It's okay to get help. And if you see, you got to know the signs. You see the signs, look, come on, let's go to dinner. Let's go to dinner. Let's go to lunch, because, you know when your friends are overwhelmed. You see when they're going through certain things and you was like, they don't look like themselves, something not right, and that thing I know because I used to be guilty of this. I'm good. I'm okay.
Oh, yeah,
I'm okay. Yeah.
I just hold it.
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm hold it. And then I don't know about, I could remember it's times when you get in the shower, you by yourself. It's like you having a whole letdown. You break.
Right.
You having a whole moment.
That's true.
Because, I've been there where I'm like, you don't feel like you can trust people. You can talk about it. Then you by yourself and, so, yeah. So definitely you got to really, it's important. Well, I appreciate you both again.
Appreciate you.
Being here. I want you both to share your social media handles. If anybody's interested, reaching out, want to know more about SimGriggs Productions, how do they do that? You want to share your information?
Sure. Across all platforms, it's Gregory Lamont. As far as with our film company, SimGriggs Productions, across all platforms.
Okay.
That's
right.
SimGriggs and Productions with an S.
All right.
And be Octavious Sims, throughout all social media platforms. And
Okay.
and SimGriggs Productions. So
Okay.
we appreciate you. Thank you so much. We are proud of you.
right.
Thank you.
You
Keep
so
shining like the star that you are.
Right.
Thank you so much. I love y'all both.
Love you too.
And I had something for you I've been holding forever. Okay? Because when my book launched, y'all were like the first two to buy my book. And then I was like, and I know y'all been so busy, and I'm like, I gotta get this to them.
Oh, we appreciate that. We appreciate that. Thank you,
gotta
thank you,
get
thank
that
you,
to
thank you, thank you,
you.
thank you, thank you.
So that's the
Ah,
book, and I
oh,
put a
wow.
bookmark in there, and my chapter.
Wow.
Yes, the whole book is amazing with some
Wow.
amazing
Price
authors.
I paid.
The
Wow.
price I paid, and I'm chapter 3.
Hey,
Chapter 3, okay.
we are so
The
proud of you.
the colorism of chocolate drop
Mm-hmm.
is
So
my
proud of
chapter.
you.
Thank you
Awesome.
so much. I had to make sure. I said, I got it. I've been holding this book, and I need to get a copy when your book
Oh, yeah.
signing, because and so they can when
Gotta
they
be there.
I'm going to be
Yeah,
there.
Absolutely.
And so, and if you want to reach out also so you can get his book, make sure you gotta tap in and follow, right?
It's a good book.
Thank you.
It is.
Thank
I
you.
say, see you
He
got
always support.
inside.
He's
You
the first
already,
person. He bought the book, and when he said he got my copy on my cousin, was like, "Oh, where did the book come out?" Like, oh.
I know. I seen it on his page. I was like, wait a minute, hold up.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Yeah, he's
love
very
it.
supportive.
I
very
love it.
supportive.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking
you got
about.
to support each other.
Yeah.
That's
I
right. Be the
appreciate
first,
That's
like
right.
the.
Like Aunt Cynthia say, love is what love does.
That's
That's
right.
true.
So
That's
you
true.
probably one of those when like somebody birthday, you know how people at midnight they got to be the first to be like, "Happy birthday."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's
All
true.
right. Well, again, thank you
Thank
Thank
you.
for coming to Let's Talk Health and Wellness, for sharing your story, your journey, your insights, and all the good information that you provided and shared with me and my viewers. Again, thank you. And so thank you for joining Let's Talk Health and Wellness again. You can actually follow these brothers. And that's my book. He's showing his Yes. And you can get it off my website as well, www.sincerelysincere.com. Again, thank you and see you next time.